Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I have a flip through of a very special altered book. This piece was commissioned by collector Gene Marcos in the States. He wanted me to make an altered book that was also a prayer book or a kind of a devotional object. So I took this piece from 1936 and filled it with a lot of traditional religious imagery and a fair amount of whimsy. And Gene was gracious enough to encourage me to make a flip through of this so that I can share it with you. If you like altered books, vintage books and paper arts, and journal arts, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications, and you will have more of them in your life. As I said, this book is from 1936, and it started out life as a textbook about some of the works of Aeschylus. So throughout, there's little bits of Greek writing peeking underneath the images. That's really cool. This engraving is from 1842, and I have given him a nimbus halo of a vintage clock face. I reinforced the binding here with some handwritten French text from 1872. And then over here in the corner is a pin with some vintage religious medals. The first layout is on an echo print, and it is St. John the Evangelist. And because this page was actually about botany, it had this cool leaf plant thing over here. And I used that to make a kind of a halo or wings and to give some texture. This angel is trying to deliver a message that says, "We awake, if we ever wake at all, to mystery." Annie Dillard. This page over here has a handwritten menu. It's for a first communion. And there would have been a big luncheon party afterwards. And so this is a handwritten menu of what they had. And you could choose between veal and poulet de Bruxelles, chicken, and some other good things there. I don't know if this one is hungry, but she's definitely given it the side eye. Great expression. It says up here, "In the closet of God, I anticipate the universe." And that's by Emerson. The side here is a pocket. And in the pocket is a mourning card. And I've altered the mourning card itself by adding a porcupine and a poem by G.K. Chesterton. "You say grace before meals. All right. But I say grace before the concert and the opera, and grace before the play and the pantomime, and grace before I open a book, and grace before sketching, painting, swimming, fencing, boxing, walking, playing, dancing, and grace before I dip the pen in the ink." That is a poem by G.K. Chesterton. And this is sort of an icon, and she's being watched over by these angels. Over here is another 19th century engraving, and it says, "So the post presented her with a letter." So this is an interpretation of the Annunciation. And here you can see some of that Greek text peeking through. This is a different St. John. This is the one in the wilderness, and it's him as a boy. Over here, this marbled paper is from a dictionary from the 1880s. And I made it into a kind of a tuck spot where I've put a vintage French holy card that says, "The soul may ask God for anything and never fail. You may ask God for his presence or for wisdom and receive each at his hands." Also, Annie Dillard. She's my favorite writer. And here we have a beautiful card that's also a lithograph with some Art Nouveau style frame there. The background is a handwritten ledger page. Over here is a card that would have been given out as a gift in Sunday school. It's from 1926. And these were sometimes given for good attendance, that sort of thing. And it has a daily prayer. I've added a little bird there. And over here is a page from a Welsh prayer book. That's from 1848. And I stenciled on some Gothic arches. It opens up as a triptych. Over here are some vintage postcards from the I'm going to go with 1920s. And this was a fashion to make themed postcards with old-timey nuns. I have no idea why. But I love them so. I collect these. Anyway, I made them into pockets. And inside the pocket is another prayer card, and it says, God is in all, even in the slightest things we undertake. Nothing is great and nothing is small to the divine, so we should not wonder if what we are going to do will be hard or easy. God knows no hard or easy. This pocket Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. Mark 11:24. And I know that has often been my experience. Over here, let's see. This is from a book from the 1950s, and it was about lettering, different styles of lettering. So I made a scan and I printed it up on some vintage tracing paper. So when I glued it down, it went kind of translucent, so you can still see the text below. There's a little bit of a border here of another hand written ledger page. And these illustrations are from 1909. And it's 4-color printing with Jesus at the well with the Lady of Samaria. Here we're going arch heavy again, as is my wont. This is just an old postcard from a beautiful scene of a cathedral. And over here, this engraving and this one are from 1856, and it was just a book of black and white engravings of ruins of British abbeys and cathedrals. And it is one of the coolest books I've ever had in my life. So there's the door to one, and then there's the ruins of another. And in this pocket, I have put 2 more prayer cards, including this one, which celebrates a first communion. First communion. Sorry. Finally, I believe this is St. Catherine of Siena. If I'm mistaken, please let me know in the comments. This is also from 1909, and it's the Lord's Prayer. And I've added some butterflies and moths from Our Country's Butterflies and Moths. That's 1905. And it is on top of a little bit of text from a French book about French scriptures. And there we go. When I make an altered book, I use original vintage paper ephemera. I also sell curated bundles of original paper, but I'm fully aware that they are not in everybody's budget. So I'm actually in the middle of a long-term project of turning my paper library into high-res printable scans. They will become available on Etsy. Currently, I have a few bundles, including one of holy cards. In this bundle, there are 138 vintage French holy cards dating from the 1870s to the 1940s. Some are in color, and then some are in this paper lace style with stilograph engravings. Engravings, illustrations. So these are great in collage and in mixed media, and they make really charming tags. I use them all the time, but you knew that already. I also have another bundle of First Communion cards. These are pretty. They have a story. There's something mysterious about them. I collect them. I have an absurd amount of them. I'm just really attracted to them. They are also occasionally unintentionally odd, and that makes me smile. So I have a bundle with 64 First Communion cards. That's up on Etsy. I am about to put up a huge bundle for making your own prayer book. It will have a selection of cards like this, but it will also have vintage text for backgrounds, church ruins and arches, have butterfly wings, angels, saints. It's going to have a lot of stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Speaking of making your own book, I'm also working on my next online course, which is how to make your own altered prayer book. It would help me in creating the instruction to know what you're curious about learning. Is there something specifically that you would like to know how to do in book altering or art journal layout making, collage, embellishing? Please let me know in the comments. It will help me design the course, and it will help me direct this YouTube channel because I'm going to try to integrate those ideas into upcoming videos as well. Thank you again, Jean Marcos, for commissioning this book. I'm so pleased. Until next week, get up and go make something.